Moonies! Welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Ella Johnson, and I'm here with Cheyenne M. Davis. They're lifestyle journalists who talks about pop culture, fat liberation, sex, and kink with bylines in The Verge, Bustle, Refinery 29, and more. They're a huge anime fan, they love video games, and they have a cat named Quinn. I'm so happy to have them on the show. Hey, Cheyenne!
Hi, everybody. Hi, Victoria. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to have you here. And the first question I usually ask every guest is, what is your first memory of watching Sailor Moon?
So, I come from a household of divorced parents, and it's so funny because one of my first experiences with Sailor Moon that I remember is that my dad he was living in Jersey at the time, and I was living in Georgia. He recorded like the whole first 2 seasons when Toonami would do those marathons, and he sent me the VHS. And that's something that I still have in Georgia. I don't have it in my possession now, but that's like one of my fondest memories and one of my first memories.
Oh my god, I love that. Wait, do the VHSs still have the commercials?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's like amazing. I don't know why. There's something about there's definitely like I have nostalgia, of course, for like Sailor Moon, and like I have some old VHS tapes from like Cartoon Network, but to have like a full 2 seasons with commercials is amazing because I'm sure there are so many I probably even forgot about.
Right. Same. Honestly, I haven't seen that tape in almost over 20 years now. It's been a very long time, but when I go back to Georgia, I do want to find the tapes and try to find a working VHS player so that I can look at them and get my life, because I really need to do that.
Yeah, please do. I have a working VHS player somewhere. We will get together and figure this out.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah. I used to have the original Sailor Moon movies on VHS, and I'm never getting rid of them because you can't find the original dub anymore.
No, you can't. Even though they have Sailor Moon S on Netflix now, it's still not the same.
Yeah, the voices are different, and the the music's different, which is like the biggest thing for me. And I'm just like, I need Carry On and all those stuff. But what would you say is your favorite episode or moment from Sailor Moon?
I have a few favorite moments. So my first favorite moment is the episode where the Negaverse, and this was during Queen Beryl's reign, R.I.P. legend. Queen Beryl had sent, I think it was Jedi, to do that fake ass gym.
Oh yeah.
And they were taking everybody's energy and life force because they were being fat phobic. And Usagi, who eats everything, and honestly speaking, Usagi is giving Taurus, but she's not. That's a whole nother conversation. But
listen, go ahead.
She's giving Taurus. I don't care what anyone says, but she loves to eat and she just loves to indulge in everything. But she was eating, and they were like, "Oh, you're so fat, you need to go to the gym," which is problematic as fuck, but whatever. And she gets to the gym and then realizes that this is not even a gym. It's a fact, a cesspool that they are using to take everyone's life force. But the one thing that stuck with me in that moment, and I really watched it again as an adult, and it really just hit me, with the PSAs at the end of the episode, when she talks about how just loving your body, period, and not letting people define it, that stuck with me, especially as someone who believes in fat liberation. I think that's very important because it's about just embracing your body, period, regardless of where you are with it, but also not allowing others to define you or define your body, because it's about having autonomy. So even Sailor Moon teaching young young girls and young non-men, period, about body autonomy, just autonomy, period, is very important. I'm very interested in seeing that. Another moment that I love, well, I don't want to say love per se, but I love to hate on it because Usagi is such a pick-me. She's one of my least favorite Sailor Scouts, and I know that she's the main one, but she's one of my least favorites. This moment because remember when her and Ray kind of had a falling out because Mamoru started dating Ray for 5 seconds? Mm-hmm. There's this one episode, I forgot the name, I think it's in season 4 or 5, where Mamoru goes over to Ray's house and he has to quote unquote study or whatever, and so Usagi literally puts on this ninja outfit just to stalk him, and proceeds to just see what the hell he's doing. And I'm like, girl, you really wasting all that time on this nigga of all people?
That's so funny. That's so true.
I'm like, you really waste, girl, Mamoru of all people? No, absolutely not. another moment that I liked was this episode where Ami had to go, she was supposed to go to Germany. And like, they had this really touching moment because they thought she was leaving them for good, and then she had this fight with this monster in the swimming pool, and then everything was good. That was a cute episode too, because I'm a Virgo, so I love my Mercurial queen. She's not my favorite, but she still has my heart. Hotaru is actually my favorite Sailor Scout. But that moment was touching for me too, because just the themes of friendship and togetherness and femhood and sisterhood were really apparent in Sailor Moon, and that's something that still draws me to the anime every time.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes too. Just seeing like Mercury, or Ami, and either one is fine. Yeah, like thinking like she's gonna leave, and then they give her the transformation sticks, and she comes back, and it's such a touching episode. I love that example you brought up too about the gym, because it was like oh, this was a trap, like this wasn't. And at the end she does give like the Sailor Moon says, like, you know, love yourself, love your body, because the show does have issues, I think, with fat phobia sometimes, like
it does.
And I love that you brought up that example, because I'm like, oh yeah, they did have at least that one point where they kind of like were a little bit better about it.
Right.
And I completely agree with you about Usagi being a Taurus, even though she's a Cancer, because I'm a Taurus.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I identify with her so much, and I'm like, she gives me so much Taurus energy. But
she does.
Yeah, I mean, she is very emotional also, though. So I guess, yeah.
And another thing that I loved about Sailor Moon is that it really helped me identify my queerness, because even though they never painted Sailor, it's Sailor Uranus is Haruka, or is it Haruka? I know it starts with an H.
Haruka.
Yeah, Haruka, and I forgot Neptune's name.
Michiru.
Yes, but their relationship, even though they tried to paint them as cousins in the Cloverwave edit, which, by the way, I can't do Cloverwave. At first I could, but now I'm just like, no, that's not the best.
Yeah.
The American dub is not the best version. The one that we know on Toonami is really not the best version, because it's not Darien, it's Mamoru. It's not Serena, it's Usagi. I definitely think that we need to stick to the original edit, but for the dubbed version. But just seeing them clearly be in a queer relationship helped me recognize that something was in me, and I noticed that as a kid too, because I just felt so drawn and so just happy with seeing their relationship, and I was like, you know what, that's gonna be me someday. so I definitely would say that shout out to Sailor Moon for really helping me realize who I am as a person.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. I've noticed that happens with a lot of people, and I'm really happy that it showed that representation. Even, you know, not the original deep dub that made them cousins, because that was ridiculous.
I said, child, y'all know damn well they ain't no damn cousins. I said, please, don't even, you can see it from a mile away. Girl, bye.
Mm-hmm. But they are so cute. And I love that they're like the most, like, they have the healthiest relationship in the whole show.
Yes,
like,
they absolutely do.
Usagi and Mamoru are not healthy. Like,
at all, no.
No one else has a healthy relationship on that show.
Not at all.
And I love that. The one healthy relationship we see is a lesbian relationship, which is like beautiful.
Hello?
Beautiful. Also, what you said about Usagi before, it reminded me of that meme where it's like, why you act like that? Like, act like what? You know what I'm talking about? He's like, why you do the things you do?
Yes.
And it's like someone like doing like ridiculous. I feel like I kind of want to make a TikTok now with that. And like Usagi is a ninja trying to sneak into the state.
Like, girl, really? I said, come on now. And can we just get into Mamoru real quick? Because I just have to take a second.
Absolutely.
I talked about this on TikTok. Mamoru is literally the epitome of how cishet men just crash the party and just be regurgitating shit that was already said and not adding anything to the conversation. Because Sailor Scouts could be getting their asses handed to them. So when like I think it was the Dark Moons, the circus troupe, that was like season 4. Okay, yes. So in that arc specifically, they were getting their asses handed to them every episode. Here come Tuxedo Mask, useless ass. Just, you know, he got to throw the rose down. And they already talked about fighting for love and justice. My nigga, why are you coming in to say the same thing? And then not even fight. And then they would have to save his ass sometimes.
That's
So I'm just like, yeah, like, listen, either you gonna do something or you gonna go home, sis. Like, I don't understand why you're here. Like, what is the reason? What is the reason? I'm sorry, I just had to put that out there because he'd be getting on my nerves.
Oh.
And then got a nerve to have an attitude problem too on top of that.
That is so true. And I'm like cracking up over here because I never realized he do just be repeating the same thing they say.
Yes.
And it's like, I contributed. And it's like, did you though?
Baby, you hit Control C, Control V. You didn't contribute shit. That was given copy paste.
Absolutely. So true. Just facts. Yeah. Yeah, he's an interesting character. You mentioned Otaru, Sailor Saturn is your favorite. Why is she your favorite? I mean, she's awesome, but I'd like to know why.
Because she's given mysterious, sad girl vibes, and that's my energy. Even though I don't identify as a girl, that's very much my energy, and I'm sticking to it. Also, Saturn is one of my favorite planets. Saturn's one of my favorite planets. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied today, but as a kid, I used to have an obsession with space. And my dad bought me like these books and like this tablet that explains the solar system to you, and I was just always drawn to Saturn. And then Hotaru just happened to be my favorite Sailor Scout. She's literally the destroyer of planets. Like, I feel like she could really potentially be the main one, the main Sailor Scout, because even though we talk about how Usagi obviously is Princess Serenity, and then you have people like Minako, who is Sailor Venus, who was supposed to technically be the leader of the Sailor Scouts. But both of them don't really exhibit leadership qualities, because I feel like Sailor Venus is a little too vain to be a leader, and I feel like Usagi is just a little too all over the place to be a leader too. But I think Hotaru, because she's that silent but deadly type, really could have just rocked everybody's shit. And does.
Yeah, that is the absolute truth. Like, she is super powerful. And I feel like it's just maybe because she's younger and like doesn't always have control of her powers, but like she's low-key the strongest Avenger. Like, you know, she's the strongest since she.
Okay.
Completely agree with you on that. Like, I think, you know, Sailor Moon may have her sometimes, but I don't know, man, she destroying planets, like you said. And also shout out to your dad with the VHS tapes and the planet book. Like, he came through with the little gifts.
He passed away in 2013, but these are things that I really like, cherish, and I'm so happy that he gifted me with one of my favorite things in the world. So I definitely shout out to him. Oh, and I also cosplayed Hotaru too in 2014.
What?
I have to find that picture for you, but no, child, I gotta tell you the story briefly. I'm sorry, I don't want to take up too much time.
No, so please do.
I went to anime, so I'm very big into like anime. Period. I love going to conventions. I was just at Anime NYC 2 weekends ago.
Me too.
I cosplayed as this great value version of Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Please don't drag me, but it was given Walmart rollback. Okay, I wasn't given what.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm thinking you slaying demons out here.
Victoria, listen, I was cute, but it wasn't given top tier. But I was there. I was happy to be there. Anyway, in 2014, I went to Anime Next. And I cosplayed as Sailor Saturn because they were having a Sailor Scout like reunion photo shoot thing. And I got real excited, but like I went with a couple of friends who were just, child, it wasn't the best choice. They weren't the best choice because they wanted to leave the convention early and I drove my car. So we drove from the hotel to the convention center. So I had to drive them back and I essentially missed it. But before I left, I ran into someone who cosplayed as Sailor Uranus and they really weren't having the best time, but they still agreed to take a picture with me. And it's the most awkward picture on the internet, but like, it was still a proud moment for me.
Hey, you did that. That's all that matters. You did that.
I agree. Totally agree.
Oh my god. Well, I would like to see this picture because I'm like, I love to see Black women cosplaying Sailor Scouts in general. And so, if you would like to share, I would love to see it.
I will definitely send it over to you.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love that though. Like, I feel like everyone should cosplay as a Sailor Senshi at least once in their life because it's really fun. Would you ever do it again?
Oh, for sure. I think I would do I love Setsuna too, so I might do Sailor Pluto next. Because I just got a press pass for KatsuCon, so I might I'm definitely gonna cosplay while I interview people for sure. But I'm thinking about doing Sailor Pluto.
Ooh, okay, I love that.
The
That's
staff
gonna
and the boots and the half up, half down hair. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
Setsuna was a bad bitch. Like, I just shout out to her because even just when she came in season 5, just the way that she just commanded the room and didn't even she didn't have to be nasty about it. She was just cool, calm, and collected and just fuck shit up. So I think the Senshi are the best Sailor Scouts, period, in terms of skill, in terms of just being held together. And also I think it's because they were Sailor Scouts a lot longer than the main inner planets were. So they definitely were not new to the game. They were definitely true to the game. And it was apparent that they were more like the senior class, while the other group were the sophomores, if we want to make a comparison.
Yeah, I think that's right. Sometimes I would call the outer senshi the OG big cousins kind of thing.
Yep.
And I like what you said too, the seniors, because that's so true. They are definitely just we've been around the block, we know what we're doing. Get out the way. If you're not helping,
yeah, y'all really just struggling over something that didn't even require struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I totally feel that, and I love Tara too. I mean, I love all the scouts. I think, yeah, Sailor Saturn is amazing in her power for sure. And you are also amazing. So you are a writer. You do a lot of cool stuff. Tell me your origin story. How did you decide you wanted to become a writer? I also didn't mention it earlier, but you founded the Unveiled magazine. So how did that come about? Tell me everything.
Okay, let me tell you my origin story, child. So many moons ago, when I was a kid, I've always had an affinity for writing. And I would write little short stories. And then as I got older, I started writing fan fiction, which I will never give y'all the link to that because I read it recently. I was 17. I'm real embarrassed. Hot ass Mess Express. But I've always liked writing and loved writing. And so when I was in college, I was asked. Well, no, let me take a step back really quick. When I was in college, I had a blog called the Cheyenne Hour, and it was basically a blog where I would just talk about my experiences and just talk about things that I wanted to ramble on. One of the things I talked about was the intersections of anime and feminism, where I talked about Howl's Moving Castle and Sailor Moon and all different types of anime, and I talked about Haku from Naruto, and that was a very interesting time because I was also trying to understand my identity because I didn't know if I identified as a woman, and I talked about how potentially Haku could represent a non-binary character, and now 5 years later, I myself am that non-binary character that I was talking about. Now I'm the non-binary character, so it's very interesting to see how my writing was also the genesis of me exploring my gender and my identity / personhood, period. So at that same time in 2017, I was asked to host a body positive, body liberation event. And this is when I was an undergrad at Rutgers, and the Rutgers Daily Targum is the school newspaper. So somebody from the school newspaper had interviewed me, and I talked about my blog and stuff. And then a week later, they hit me up and they were like, "Yo, I read your blog. This is cool. Would you like to write for us and just continue your blog there?" So I was like, "Absolutely." So I brought the Cheyenne Hour to the Daily Targum, and it was so well received that they wanted me to write in print. But once they wanted me to write in print, they kind of wanted me to write other stuff that didn't really matter to me, so I stopped writing for them. But then I wrote a couple of pieces for other people, and I continued to write more of my blog experiences. And then in grad school, I didn't write as much because I was focusing more on my grad studies. But then when COVID hit, I was like, I can't find a job. I just graduated with a master's. Niggas trying to eat, so what am I going to do? So I went back to writing. And somebody's like, well, you can write for Namiwear, and that's how I kind of reinvigorated my love of writing. But it was also getting paid for it too, so that's always a plus.
Always a plus, especially in journalism, because
okay. Okay.
Quick to talk about it. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Shoot. That's a whole other podcast.
Yo. Ooh, baby.
Oh, well, first, I want to know, can we at least know what your fan fiction was about?
Oh, child. Okay. We going down a rabbit hole. I'm not going to lead y'all too far. I'm going to just give you just enough.
Okay.
So basically, and I'm actually writing a piece about this currently about how, like, I had my sexual awakening from writing fan fiction. Because I went to an all-white high school, and at that time, I'm realizing now as an adult, that I was on the asexual spectrum and still am in some regards. Where, like, I enjoyed sexual things and had sexual desires, but, like, I didn't want to participate in sex. But I found the conduit to, like, deal with that was my writing. So a lot of times I would be, like, having these relationships with, like, these anime characters that I love. And, like, these video game characters. I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed at my own self.
No, you are in a safe space. Like, listen, I just thought about anime characters.
Oh, okay. And these video game characters that I love too. Like, I wrote one that was real popular.
Listen, Cloud was fun.
Yeah, girl. Why was I in a whole relationship with this man? I said I had him break up with Tifa and everything. Like, it was a mess. I had so much drama. When I tell you I had so much drama and edge, like, it was a whole other place. But I wrote about them. I wrote about Naruto. I wrote about Bleach. I also wrote about who else did I wrote about a bunch of different things. But during my time writing the fan fiction, I had, like, a mentor that I met on the site, and she would read my writing and, like, tell me what to change and what I could add or what I could take away, and, like, leaving me feedback. So I just love how even in that space, I recognize how big the writing community was and how much support was in the writing community, even from people that you've never met before. So I definitely I'm so happy that I met this person too virtually, who has really kind of even led to my success today.
That's really cool. That is really cool. See, I like that. Absolutely, yeah. No, I feel that completely. Though I was definitely daydreaming about a few different characters in my days.
Okay.
But shout out to mentorship. I also want to talk about your Cowboy Bebop piece. Like, I love Cowboy Bebop, and for some reason I never put it with afrofuturism, and I saw this headline and I was just like, this is so cool, and you about to be on the podcast, so, like, we gotta talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, how did you come up with this?
Okay, so I was in my room and I was high. Because I smoke weed sometimes, and I think that's another form of journalism I'm trying to get into, but it's another podcast and another conversation. But anyway, and I was talking to my friend, and, like, I was thinking about the live action coming out, and I was just ruminating on my thoughts around that, and I just go to my friend on FaceTime. I'm like, you know what? I feel like there's a link between afrofuturism and Cowboy Bebop. I just don't know what it is, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. So at first, my friend's like, well, I don't know what you're thinking, but I trust you. And so I mapped it out. I talked to different people. I got their perspectives. And honestly, truly, Victoria, it took me a while to get this piece picked up because a lot of people were not fucking with the vision. And of course not, because a lot of what the fuck do white editors know about Afrofuturism? Like,
a whole other podcast.
Okay, hello? So, correct. So, like, when The Verge finally was like, you know what, we like this and we want to take it, I was like, all right, cool. And I interviewed a bunch of people. Well, first I reached out to a lot of people on Twitter, and then that tweet alone amassed almost 900 retweets.
Oh my god!
In less than 24 hours. So I was like, I woke up the next day and I was like, holy fuck! How am I answering all these people? So I picked some people. Some people I knew. Some people I met through Twitter, and I talked to two Afrofuturist experts. And I spoke to Bo Billingsley, who voiced Jet in the original, the U.S. dub of Cowboy Bebop, the anime.
That's amazing.
When I tell you I was shook as fuck after that conversation, I was like, wow. Like, me, I'm truly honored. And he contacted me the day right before it was due and was like, I know your deadline is right there, but if you want to talk, I'm still here to chat. So it was a last minute surprise that really helped me wrap the article in a nice little bow. So yeah, no pun intended. So I I'm, that's one of my favorite pieces I've written, actually. And I was really happy to write it because for the longest time, I was being pigeonholed into writing things that were like trauma porn. And I wanted to get to a place where I'm like, you know what? Part of me as a Black person and my liberation politic is about centering joy, even though, and understanding that I can use my traumas and my pain as information, but not as a definition of who I am as a person. And that I think the joy would be a more definitive, experience as to who I am as a person than my pain is. And so right now I've just been using different pieces to talk about things that Black people love and how they uplift Black people.
I love that. Yeah. People need to understand that we are not just one thing. Like, Black people like various types of things. We can talk about different things. We have so many different interests. Yeah, but I never even thought about this too. Like, I'm kind of looking through the piece now, and just the idea of how jazz is used in this show, like alone, and then Jet's character, and this was a really cool. Like, you were on something. You were onto something.
But I was, child, I was on something.
Well, you was on something, but you was also onto something.
Absolutely right.
With this, because I'm like looking through it, I'm just like, oh my god, like as you're making points, I'm like, this makes so much sense, and I never thought about it before. And it's super cool. Yeah, congrats, this is dope, and I hope you get to do more like this.
Me too. I just wrote an article about video games, another one, because I wrote one. One of the articles I wrote prior to this one was about Skyrim, because Skyrim turned 10 last month. And I love Skyrim. So I talked about that, and I interviewed a bunch of Black people about their experiences with the game and why they love it and why it brings them peace. And then I just wrote an article for Pop Sugar. It's coming out soon. But it's about like why Black people still can't see themselves in games because the customization engines are fucking trash. So I love Animal Crossing, I do, but I had to rip them to shreds because why the fuck y'all don't got no box braid?
True.
How?
They just added like Afro puffs, right, or something.
Yeah, and they added a fade gel, and I'm like, okay, that's cute, but like, not them trying to turn it into 2K. That shit had me weak as fuck.
Right.
I'm like, this is cute, but y'all really are not doing what y'all need to do.
Yeah, no, that's an important piece because there's so many video games I play, and I'm sure you've played, and it's like, dang, can I get a shade like darker?
Hello.
Like, can I get some different hairstyles?
Hello.
Like, Black people have more than two. So, yeah. Also, have you ever heard of sex magic?
Mm-hmm.
Or sex magic?
I do sex magic.
Oh, okay. So you already know.
Another conversation for another podcast. But I read tarot cards, and I also am a witch. So I do all types of magic. I do glamour work. I do sex magic. I do manifestation work. I do like shadow work. Well, everybody that does magic should really be doing shadow work because you really need to heal and release some things so that you can bring other things in. So that's a given. But I definitely do sex magic. Absolutely.
Okay, well, you already know, so I won't. I just learned about it in a recent episode with Ashley Chubby Bunny.
I'm cool with her. I love Ashley.
Oh, yeah, Ashley's awesome. Yeah, so maybe you should talk to her there. I was about to be like, I should introduce y'all. We already know each other. She's trying to get into cannabis too, and she did sex magic. She talked about this on the show. She did sex magic and she tried to channel, getting more into the cannabis industry, and she's saying she's been getting a lot of, like people reaching out recently after she did it, saying, let's talk about cannabis, da-da-da-da. So it's been working for her. So I remember you said you want to get into cannabis. Hit her up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely talk to her.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear. Okay, cool. Yeah. She's dope.
Mm-hmm.
And you're dope. So I feel like
you're dope too.
Yeah, thank you.
Come on, circle of dopeness.
Right, look at that. That's what happens when you get Black people together. Especially femmes and non-femmes.
Okay, hello?
or non...
Because at least we won't be gatekeeping shonen, okay? Hold on. Wait, that's another thing. I'm so sorry, Victoria, but
no, go
recently
ahead,
in a Twitter space, they had like Twitter court. And so somebody brought up the case of cishet men gatekeeping and mansplaining anime. So, of course, I had to be the prosecutor because I could not remain silent on that topic. And I was just on another podcast about video games and Black people where I literally just went off for like 2 minutes about how much disdain I have for this. But when Black men try to mansplain shit like One Piece, the most straightforward shit that you could ever find.
Oh my god.
Or mansplain like any anime, and then when you try to tell them about the anime that you watch, well, what episode of this season and what scene in this episode, it's like they have to ask you the most obscene and most obscure questions about shit that don't even matter, and it'd be a filler episode that nobody has watched. So like, I hate it here, but yeah, I'm sorry, like I'm all over the place, but I just can't.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. But enough about cishet men. Right. Yeah. I see that you're a Beach House stan, and I never heard of them until I came across your profile. So I would like to know what's like a good song for a person who's never heard their music to like listen to their music.
That is such a good question. So I wrote an article about how their music saved my life because even though I know they're a white band and I listen to all types of music. Okay, I listen to some ratchet shit, but then I also listen to some Sixpence None the Richer shit. Like I can go from fucking 21 Savage to fucking Kylie Minogue in like 8 seconds. Okay, I don't care. But
yes, I love that.
Beach House really like changed my life because it just gave meaning to like how I was feeling as a person, and it also gave me the language to say that you can change and grow as a person. But some songs that I would recommend, well, an album I would recommend to start with is Depression Cherry. It's one of their more well-known albums, even though people say some of their previous works prior to that are better. I don't agree. I think we should start there. And then the 3 songs, I love the most. Well, I love the whole album, but Levitation, the song that the album starts with, Space Song, and then Wildflower. Those are all great songs. Some other good songs to get into from them from other albums. There's an album called Bloom. Bloom has some great hits on it. It's a song called Other People that's great. I like this other song called Myth from that album, and then this song called Wishes. That whole album is good too. I personally like most of their work. But if I had to pick some songs from that album, I would definitely say that. And then the last album I would recommend, well, not the whole thing, because I feel like if you kind of really have to get into their music, but there's this album they have called Thank Your Lucky Stars. And on that album, there's Majorette, which is a bop. She's So Lovely, which is lovely as fuck. And Rough Song. Rough Song is a cute song. It's not, I don't want to say cute like it's cute, but like it's a cute little bop. I like it. So I definitely think that they have a bunch of things that you can get into. One recommendation I would say is just take your time and don't really rush into their music, because sometimes you have to sit with it and really be like, well, I didn't like this now, but maybe 2 months later you're like, oh, you know what, I really fuck with this now. Because that happened with me too.
That's definitely happened with me. Like, I also, like, Ingrid Michaelson and Kate Nash are, like, 2 of my favorite artists.
Yes!
So I completely feel that. I wrote down all these songs. I'm already loving, like, these song titles. Like, I'm like, this is my jam. Yes! Like, I don't know. Something about some certain song titles, you can just tell you're gonna like it.
Okay, yes!
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna check out Beach House after this. I'm super excited. They seem dope. I just, like, Googled them right after we confirmed the interview, and I was just like, oh, let me see. But I haven't listened to any songs yet, so I'm excited for this. What would you say is your favorite piece of nerd merch that you own? And it could be like anything.
So right now, I've been wearing this. I've been wearing this shit till the brakes fall off. But I have a Tanjiro jacket that I've been wearing, and honestly speaking, I'm not a Demon Slayer stan per se. I really like the aesthetic more than I do the actual lore and the actual like anime itself. Even though I have watched it and I'm current, I still mostly like it for the aesthetics, and I think their outfits are cute. Another piece of nerd merch that I used to own, there's a couple of things, and this is not anime related, but when I was 13, I had a shirt from Hot Topic, because I basically lived in that fucking store. I used to be obsessed with Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and it was a picture of blue on it, and the shirt says Icy Chill. I wore that to my 13th birthday, and that birthday was significant because that was my first birthday party in like 6 years. So, definitely love that shirt, and I used to be a huge Hello Kitty fan, and I don't know if you're familiar, but Garden State Plaza, it's in this town called Paramus in New Jersey. they used to have the Sanrio store, and my father would take me to get stuff for school. So he bought me a Hello Kitty backpack that was a messenger bag because I refused to have an actual backpack. I had to have a messenger bag because I wanted to look more mature and age appropriate with a fucking Hello Kitty bag. So,
listen, I had a messenger bag too. It's all good. Playing. I had a Sailor Moon one at some point.
Yo, I said one thing these hoes ain't gonna do. Y'all not gonna talk shit about me and my stuff. I'm gonna be popping. I'm gonna be cool for school. Okay, in fact, too cool for school. So, those are some of my favorite nerd memorabilia that I previously owned or currently.
Nice. Shout out to your dad again. And yeah, that's cool. Have you heard of Namiwear by any chance?
I have, but I'm not too familiar. But I might know what it is if it's explained to me.
So it's a anime streetwear company, and he created some really cool like Tanjiro jackets, and it has like it's made of denim.
Can you send that to me, please?
But it's the same pattern. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna send it. I'll send it to you. But it is super dope. I think he probably still has some available. I'm not sure though. But he does like limited runs, but super dope. And yeah, I feel like I have a Yu Hakusho jacket from him. Like the quality's really good. We gotta
talk about Yu Hakusho one day, because girl.
Oh yeah.
Kurama is my baby father. But I'm a Hiei stan at heart though.
I feel you. You know, that's fine, because Kurama, he's a I feel like he's someone you can depend on a little bit more.
And he's not as volatile.
But he, is for the streets.
Very much. And we stand our short kings, but he is very volatile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's the one, every now and then when you need something.
Pop off, he will.
Extra. Yeah, you're like, all right, let's go. But for the day-to-day, you want Kurama or I forgot his name.
And speaking of streetwear, are you familiar with Hypland?
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that Hypland hasn't done a Kimetsu no Yaiba / Demon Slayer line yet, because I know they just did the Akatsuki edit, and I think they were selling like the last final stock of that because they had a bunch of that at Anime NYC, and I was going to get it, but I'm like, child, I'm not trying to drop all this money on no damn puffer, even though I literally own every like Akatsuki thing under the sun. Like I have a bucket hat, I have a phone case, I literally have a tattoo on my arm just of the design, the pattern. So like I'm obsessed with the Akatsuki, but yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done a Demon Slayer edit yet, but that's something I feel like they should try to tackle next.
I agree, yeah. And actually, so I did the this panel, I moderated a panel at Anime NYC, and Jordan was on it. And so I got to meet him. He's super cool.
Yes.
And it was super fun, yeah. Period. And actually, I guess I'll shout it out at the end. The video, I just posted it last week. Yeah.
What day were you at Anime NYC?
I was there all 3 days.
Damn, we didn't even run into each other. Or maybe we did.
I know.
Because I was there on Saturday.
Maybe. Okay, yeah. My panel was at 11 a.m. and I was there like pretty much all day. I had purple hair. I didn't dress up. I had on an Adorned By Chi shirt, but that doesn't help because everyone has Adorned By Chi. Which I don't know if you know too. She's also dope.
I need to get some of her stuff. I haven't gotten any of her stuff yet, but I need to work on it.
Yeah.
But I follow her on Instagram. I love her stuff.
Yeah, Jackie's awesome. And her stuff's on Hot Topic now.
Yes.
So whenever you're ready, just go on over there. But yeah, no, I agree though. I'm looking at Jordan. Like I really want him to do some Sailor Moon stuff. I want him to do some Yu Hakusho.
Yes.
Well, not Yu Hakusho. Some Demon Slayer stuff. I think he's dropping a Yu Hakusho stuff.
Okay, I need
soon. So I'm really excited for that.
I gotta at the 12th hour when it comes out. I gotta be ready. I'm gonna be ready with my bonnet and my credit card.
Same. But Namiwear, they have some dope stuff. We're doing a Sailor Moon. I'm doing a Sailor Moon thing with him.
Yes, congratulations.
So we're excited for that.
Period. Yes.
But they also have like Yu Hakusho stuff, Demon Slayer, Naruto, I want to say, some really, really cool stuff. But yeah, I'll send you the link though. And I'll drop it in the podcast notes for anyone who is listening. But yeah, do you have any advice for someone who wants to either like found a magazine, get like published in like these amazing outlets, And you have a podcast that we didn't even get into, but
Child, I have a
just
bunch
like
of shit that I started and then didn't finish. Okay,
it's
and
all in due
I'm gonna
time.
hold myself accountable for that one. But
Mm-hmm.
Unveiled is a different story because we are living in a world of sesta fasta, and it's very difficult to talk about anything sex related when we have laws that are literally trying to prohibit you from getting funding to do those things. Because we live in a fucking puritanical society. But again, whole nother podcast. But one thing I recommend to people is just fucking do it, okay? Like, and anyone can tell you don't do it. It's gonna be too expensive. It's gonna be too much. And 9 times out of 10, the person that's telling you that is yourself. And one thing you have to do is kind of tell yourself to go sit down somewhere and do what you got to do. Because there have been several instances where I would have to tell myself, you know what, my nigga, just chill out. Like, you got this. You don't need to be an imposter or feel like you have imposter syndrome over shit that you know you're destined to do. So definitely just get out and do it. I also recommend maximizing all your resources and cold emailing the shit out of people. Even when you feel like they're not going to respond to you. There have been so many people, whether it be celebrities, whether it be PR people of celebrities, whether it be publications, anything, that have responded to me. And I was shocked about it. And yeah, maybe it didn't always garner the response that I wanted, but I still got a fucking response. And even when you don't get a response, it's still great because you did it. So just being open to trying new things and also open to challenging yourself, but not being so caught up in rejection, because rejection honestly is one of the greatest forms of protection you can have, because that means that there's a better opportunity that's coming up for you. I think just staying in that and just working towards your goals and just seeing how far you've come and giving yourself great grace, but also credit, is very important.
Yeah, that is all really good advice. Like, I am a big proponent of like cold emails and shooting your shot, because like a lot of like the guests I've had on even this show has just been from a cold email, and it's just like, introduce yourself, be professional, and just make your ask, and every so often somebody will say yes, and you're gonna be like, what?
Correct. Yeah, you'd be so surprised.
Yeah, that's so true. And then like I love too where you're like 9 times out of 10 it's yourself, because every time I hear that you'll hear like people will tell you like, oh, it's this, it's that, and I always think it's like someone else, because there are naysayers, but you're so right to say like a lot of the time it's yourself telling you that, where it's like, oh, I can't do this, oh, this, I have this issue, this problem, I don't have enough money. But it's like, there's always a way, like the internet, and even if you got to adjust your plan a little bit, or collaborate with somebody else, or just there's a way to make anything happen.
Amen.
Yeah. And then, just like Sailor Moon had her Sailor Moon says phrase at the end of every episode, what would your phrase be? So Sailor Cheyenne says.
Damn, now I gotta think about this real quick. Fuck, because I feel like I just said mine. But Sailor Cheyenne says, be kind to yourself, give grace to yourself, but also be your biggest cheerleader, because you are on the precipice of change. Always.
I love that. That is the absolute truth. And I think that's perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And what is next for you, and where can people find you?
What's next for me? Hopefully a damn vacation, because baby, a nigga been working. But okay, I'm tired.edu. But like, what's next for me? Definitely some rest, but also I'm gonna start teaching soon. I'm gonna start teaching a college course, so I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to be writing more, and just I'm trying to do more anime content, but I'm also trying to do more video and podcast content. So I'm thinking about getting back to the podcast game, but doing something more universal to the things that I love versus the things that I want to analyze, but still analyzing the things within the things that I love, because two things can happen at once and be true at once. So I definitely want something that is more intrinsic to who I am as a person versus me doing labor to break these things down and kind of make them digestible. But yeah, definitely more centering joy, centering pleasure of all forms, centering just living life, period. And where can I be found? I can be found on Twitter and Instagram at ShyMoD. That's CHEYMO. Excuse me, I fucked up my own name. Let me start over. It's ShyMoD. CHEYMODEE. There we go. So I can be found there. And then I have a link to all my work. That's allmylinks.com/ShyModi. So yeah, I'm pretty much on those two spaces and on the interwebs, but you might see me here and there on like YouTube or on podcasts and things like that. But all the links, all my links, link has all the work that I've done, and I continuously add stuff over time.
Nice. Yeah, just followed you on Instagram. I was already following you on Twitter. Yay! That's so cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love that you're like centering joy in the next stage of your life. It's so important. It's so lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And once again, I am Victoria L. Johnson, host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. And you can find me at Miss Old School with a K on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the podcast at Moonies Club on Twitter and Moonies_Club on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok at Sailor Victoria. And if you want to check out my panel that I did at Anime NYC, it's on my YouTube, which is Sailor Victoria. I think if you just search Black Trailblazers in the anime industry, it should pop up. And yeah, it was a super dope panel with Arthel Isam, who's the first foreigner to own a anime studio in Japan. And he is obviously Black. Jordan from Hypland, and 3 voice actors that you may know from various different anime: AJ Beckles, Zeno Robinson, and Anarius. I've never said her last name, so I'm not going to butcher it. And that's it. Thanks for listening, Moonies, and thank you, Cheyenne, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.